little while ago, we had a little bit of a fun stream where we took a look at a Jubilee video if men were 100% honest. So we have my reaction along with a little bit of the communities as well today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So what we're going to be reacting to is if men were 100% honest, Circle of Secrets. I am personally excited for this. I'm personally interested in this, and let's see what the video has to say, guys. And we should probably have to do an intro. Nah, I'll cut that in. Let's see what this video had to say. So if you are interested in the original video, Jubilee, pin comment, description down below. Let's get into it.
In partnership with Unlikely Collaborators, we've designed perception box questions for communities with common experiences aimed to broaden self-acceptance and deepen self-understanding. This group of men was all asked, do you ever feel like you have to apologize for aspects of your life? And if so, why?
Now, I don't know if that's just the one question for that one collaboration, or if it's, there's no way just off of that there's going to get a half-hour video. I would imagine that they're going to ask a few things.
These are their answers.
Let's hear it. Circle of Secrets. That's a touchy video for Jubilee to make, but then again, like, Jubilee's typically a channel that has no problem diving into that stuff. So I don't even know like how much we're going to be able to comment on this video, but we'll see. If men were 100% honest, I'm interested in this because we don't live in a day and age where it's okay for men to be 100% honest. I can't even be 100% honest with you guys on YouTube over here. Like, I mean, not that I'm hiding some incredible secret or anything like that, but you get my point.
Sometimes I feel like I can't truly be a man comfortably in public.
That's 100%. What do you mean sometimes? What do you mean sometimes? I would imagine it's most of the time. They shut any sort of that behavior down nowadays.
Now, if this is your secret and you'd like to step forward and claim it and share your story, you may do so on 3.
Okay, so I see how this is going to go. I don't watch all of Jubilee's videos. I typically watch their, like, I think it's called Surrounded, their 100 versus 1 debate. I think that I would imagine that's Jubilee's biggest video. Or, excuse me, that's their biggest series of videos. So, I don't know if they typically do this type of... Yeah, I would imagine so.
2, 3.
Who's going to come up and do it? Oh, here we go. And I might have to bounce around this, guys. Sorry about that.
I came out as transgender when I was...
You know, right when we were just talking... Right when we were just talking about not being able to comment, like, again, not that I have anything like horrible to say, but like we can't, it's such a touchy subject Jubilee dives into, and I was like, if men were 100% honest, are we really gonna be able to mention anything on that?
14 years old, right after my father passed away. My dad was very abusive and very homophobic, so I never came out due to just being scared of what my life would be like. So as soon as he passed away, I came out to my mom, who's always on my side. She was one of my biggest fans. And as I went through high school, I had a very like on top of the world feeling. I loved what it felt like to be myself. It was the best thing that I had ever.
Okay, hang on. Sometimes I feel like I can't truly be a man comfortably in public. Okay, I understand where this person was going with that. I took that a completely different route, and I would imagine that's where other people would take it, because I don't know. Like, I doubt there's going to be another transgender person on the panel here.
Experienced. In my junior year, towards the end of the year, I was walking into the bathroom and somebody followed me in there and grabbed me by my neck and threw me into the wall and choked me and held me there until I was basically begging for mercy. And I went to my school about it and they didn't do anything.
What? I mean, at least where I'm from, up in Canada, that would be like national news. That would be the biggest thing to ever happen ever. That would be bigger than like any war that could possibly happen. Somebody like that getting assaulted in a school. It wouldn't even have to be true. All you have to do, hey, this person did it, and it's just like some random person walking in on a sidewalk. Dude, that would be the biggest thing in the entire world over here in Canada.
They told me that because it happened in the bathroom, it wasn't something that they could prove actually happened. So I didn't.
Yeah, definitely not Canada. Definitely not Canada.
Tell anyone for months. I just let it eat away at me. I just went to school every day, terrified for my life.
And you know what? Assuming that the story's true, right? This is why everybody needs to learn some sort of martial art. Oh no, I muted it. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Oh my god.
That was what finalized my decision.
Oh my god.
About
What'd I do? There we go. Sorry
but
about that.
it was also what kind of taught me that I can't live in this little hole that I was living in. I decided that the only way that I should be living my life was fully as myself. So I pushed through and I finished high school early, and I was able to enjoy my first real year being me, and it was the best decision I ever made.
So this is the problem with this entire thing. Like, I get the story, like, good for him and all that, but it's I would imagine most people over here are taking this a completely different way, the question.
But I still feel as if when I go in public, I can't truly be who I am. I feel like everyone's looking at me all the time. I feel like everyone's views are being pushed onto me.
Hang on, what did you just say there?
I feel like everyone's as if when I go in public, I can't truly
You can't truly be
be
yourself?
who I am.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you wouldn't have said anything, I would have said that's a dude, right? If we wouldn't have figured it out, I would imagine the reason that people are probably looking at you is because of the piercings in your nose, and it has nothing to do with you being who you are. That's my guess.
Like everyone's looking at me all the time. I feel like everyone's views are being pushed onto me.
Can I ask why you wanted to share that secret today?
My community really needs it right now. It's really sad to go online every day and see my trans brothers and sisters getting killed, getting murdered.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Like, what are we supposed to talk about this, right? This is such a touchy subject. When I make fun of everybody for going, I'm shadow banned, you know when I make fun of all the other YouTubers for doing that type of stuff. These are the types of conversations that actually have you doing that. And of course, I ask that you don't make any assumptions about my own political opinions or anything like that. I keep that type of stuff private to myself. Just please, it's just a touchy subject in general, and that's why I'm not going to speak on it.
So it's really important for me to stand up now because my generation really needs it. So.
If anyone can relate to Jaden's secret, you may step forward on 3. 1.
Hang on, is anybody going to be
2.
able to... Oh, okay. Nobody's going to be able to relate to that story probably, but I mean, just talking about being a man comfortably in public, that's different.
3.
Oh, we got one. Let's see.
Hi. For me, I grew up in a very religious and almost like traditional household. I'm openly queer, and I feel like a lot of times, like especially like the way I dress, like I'm very more like flamboyant, more feminine look presenting. So I feel like a lot of my family members, they look down upon that. Just like
Maybe everything that I just said was wrong. Maybe we have more than one. Maybe we...
from my past situations, like I've worn like full-on pink from head to toe, like, and out and about, and I've had like other men like take pictures of me, laugh at me, like make fun of me.
But that's the weird thing too, because you hear about this type of stuff, and it's normal for guys to wear pink. It's normal. I don't know, like, I personally, pink's not my thing. I have one pink flamingo shirt, but I know guys that wear pink. Like, you see it every once in a while, especially like pink shorts or something. I don't think it's that crazy.
I even had like other like male like figures and even like kids like poke fun at me, being like, oh yeah, like why are you so gay, and like call me and stuff like that. And the thing is, at that time I didn't really know what those words meant, so that's even kind of like even hits worse, knowing that like I don't even know what that means and you're just saying all these negative terms at me. So in addition to like why I'm standing.
I wonder what all the other guys in the circle are thinking right now, because I'm not hating. I'm not hating, okay? I'm not hating. I would imagine that Jubilee, I would imagine that everybody else has a different answer.
Here, I feel like I can openly share that with you because I feel like you've been able to like open that kind of like safe space for me to share that.
Yeah, I'm really glad I was able to do that for you.
I don't know but hang on, the question is so different for a story like that too. Sometimes I feel like I can't truly be a man comfortably in public. I guess people have different definitions of him. I'm not saying like nobody's not a man. I'm not saying any of that, okay? I know where that could head. But I feel like the question that Jubilee presented, they kind of took it down a different route.
Thank you.
I was arrested for attempted murder.
What? Okay. I thought this was going to be an entire different thing, man. Oh, we got it. Let's hear the story. Now I feel like it's one that's safe to comment
in a
on.
nasty fight, and at the time, I believed my best option was to kill him.
Oh,
I was afraid, and I was already wounded,
Dude, it's a scary thing fighting. It's a very, very scary thing. One of the first... what's interesting is, and if you happen to not know this and you're just following the Clenday channel specifically over here, I have been involved in martial arts for most of my life at this point. I've been in countless fights, like proper fights, not any street fights or anything like that, but you understand how brutal it is, and it's one of the reasons why you need to get comfortable in those situations, man. It's one of the most important things that you could possibly learn.
So I decided to stab him to death,
Oh,
but I wasn't able to finish the job, thankfully. That was a miracle in itself. So I was sent to jail, and
well, where's the story? Where's the story? Did you start it? Should I feel bad for you?
by the grace of God, I was released. That was a miracle in itself as well. But the real secret is, I used to be a person full of hatred and anger, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't already have thoughts of killing him, and I had let my anger and resentment, get the best of me.
Yeah, that's always a tough one, man. That's always a tough one because I think we all have those thoughts. I of course would never in a million years say that I've had thoughts about that for people, right? I of course would never say such a thing, and the list isn't extensive one little bit.
People look at me and think like, oh, he's harmless. Like, he's not this big tough guy. He's not gonna hurt you. Really, I'm hiding these demons that I don't want you to see.
I feel like when people say that though, hang on.
Big tough guy. He's not gonna.
I feel like when people say that, it's kind of like having to say I'm an alpha male. I know when people look at me, they think I'm handsome, they think I'm tough, they think I'm the best guy in the entire world. Like in reality, nobody's saying that.
I hurt you.
I look at this guy and I don't think a murderer. I don't think like this big tough guy. Like I don't think he's weak or anything, but I don't look at him and go, whoa, that's a tough guy right there.
Really, I'm hiding these demons that I don't want you to see. So yeah, after I got out of jail, I felt a lot of remorse because I saw the pain and sorrow it brought to my family, and my
could
mom had
imagine.
to sit me down, and she was disappointed in me and ashamed of me, and that destroyed me. It was kind of like a wake-up call for me. It's like, damn, Jonathan, you got a fucking problem here. I prayed to God for forgiveness. I apologized to my victim, actually, and I asked him to forgive me too, which was really difficult to do.
And
but
did
I
he?
realized,
I guess not. I feel like you would have mentioned that if you would have said so.
I wasn't able to forgive myself, and I was having like PTSD flashbacks.
But dude, the problem with this is though, man, and I struggle so bad with this because I'm a man of faith myself, and it's that simple. Like, love everybody, thou shalt not kill. But like, we need to know the story. If some guy was ever trying to come like harm me, like my mind would probably know better, man. But like, my want would be to like, okay, no. We're finishing this, and it's never gonna happen again. If that makes sense. So I struggle deeply with that, man.
couldn't sleep, and seeing the moment where he was bleeding out on the floor, squirming and going cold, and
But like, if someone was attacking you, like, wouldn't that be pleasurable? Like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, trying to hurt me, something like that. It depends on what happened.
haunted me
The fact that he said I got caught up in a fight kind of really makes me think that he started it.
for a very long time.
Like those OF girls that turned to God suddenly.
I had a really good therapist who taught me anger management, helped me through my trauma. I got deep into like journaling, and I'm still in the journey right now. I'm getting a lot better. I actually almost got fired from my job because I almost beat up my coworker. Sorry, Mom.
All right, well, I wonder who started this fight then. Maybe somebody has a little bit of violent tendencies.
But I'm giving myself grace because I'm proud of myself that I didn't act like the unhealed version of myself would have. So the
Yeah,
main
dude. I didn't kill someone today. Yeah.
thing I had to learn was giving myself compassion, learning that it's okay. It's understandable that I was acting like that because of what I went through in my childhood. But teaching myself, rewiring my brain to learn that it's safe and that I'm not in danger and I don't have to fight anymore.
Okay, so he probably started it.
The reason why I share this story is because I want anyone that shares a similar experience to know that you are not bad. You are not the villain. You are just hurt and you're carrying a lot of pain.
Really? Yeah. Dude, could you imagine? And I don't know. Let's assume this guy just started the fight, right? That's what I'm getting the vibe from, right? This guy just walks up, like stabs your sister to death, like she barely survives. Yeah. He was just hurting. You cut him some slack. He was just hurting. He went through a lot in his childhood.
But trust me when I tell you, you can heal and you can change. Just know that
Nope.
you're good and that you are still worthy of.
Dude, I got some flack for this over on the Fortnite channel. I said that people don't change. The vast majority of people don't change, and you know what? You can change, fine, whatever. If you're a kid, you know that happens, but most people don't change, man.
Love.
Oh, what an awesome story. Dude, this video is taking an entirely different turn than I thought it would. Oh.
Boys. You just hit the nail on the head. I mean, grace, compassion for yourself, and everything that you said, you are such an inspiration, man. And I'm glad that you shared.
Is he? He's a huge inspiration, dude. The guy arrested for attempted murder. What an inspiration.
So
Thank you,
thank you.
brother.
Yeah.
For me, I really related with like the you were talking about you having anger issues.
Yeah.
My whole family knows that I have anger issues, and it's just like,
Dude, I grew up with anger issues, man. I was a big angry kid, but I can tell you one thing. You wouldn't have caught me stabbing somebody to death. And martial arts fixed that. Another reason why people should get participated in it.
I've been trying to like cope with it in several different ways. One being the gym, like the main. that's
Yeah,
like
that
my
would do
main,
it.
Like everything that, like I collect everything that I'm mad at, and just kind of like.
Yeah, men need an outlet,
It's like
man.
throwing wood in a furnace and then everything smoking up, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I spent a lot of my life channeling the anger, allowing it to fuel up and going to the gym. And,
Well, men are built with, I don't know, like, you have to think about it, like, is it really anger issues or is it just natural testosterone from men? Because there's a big difference there, and some people think that they have anger issues and they don't.
finding other ways also to channel it. I've got the boxer's fracture, from punching walls as well.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that it was when I stopped channeling that hatred and that anger and stopped using that as my fire when my life really got better, because there's a way to find this forgiveness, this grace, this self-love.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, guys get angry, guys get antsy. You just need to find a proper outlet for it. I don't know if I have to sit down, deal with it, and just forgiveness, which is weird. Like, what do you have to forgive yourself about? So what, you're a little pissed off? Just don't take it out on anybody. Just don't go stab people.
This
Have some
self-respect
self-control.
and this acknowledgement of this divine purpose, right? And you put all that together and you can channel that and you can get even stronger and push even more weight and punch less walls, right?
Right.
And there's a journey to go on, and it takes time and it takes grace.
Yeah.
For sure,
But,
yeah.
but yeah.
I'm so confused about this. I don't know. I wouldn't be walking up to that guy. I don't know. I'm also the type of guy to be like, this guy was arrested for attempted murder. Let's be friends. Just so he doesn't ever think about coming after me. I've always wanted to be the kid in school where that was friends, and I was this kid. The ones that were like flight risks, the ones that I like, you know what, maybe one day they're gonna snap and shoot up the school. I want to be the kid where you go, hey, go to the bathroom for a minute. I'll be like, see you later, alligator.
It's been difficult navigating my relationships and rebuilding my life since I was sexually assaulted.
Oh my god, I didn't think that this video would be about this. I thought this video was gonna be about like literally men not being able to be honest, not people's personal life story. Dude, honestly, ow, excuse me. Sorry about that. I just smacked my finger. Props to anybody talking about this, because if I was ever essayed, I'd be taking it to the grave.
So, about 2 years ago, I was a valet driver, and one of the coworkers had asked if I wanted to hang out. I'd blown him off a couple times.
And then eventually I was getting off one night and he asked if I wanted to hang out. You know, he said there were a couple people coming, a couple of his friends coming over to his place. So I said, why not? And I get over there and it was just us two. And so I thought, you know, this is a little strange. You know, he said that his friends ended up bailing. So I said, okay, I'll leave here in like an hour or two. He had given me a drink. We'd started drinking a little bit and I was probably only about a beer or two in. And I just started feeling just completely drunk.
Oh boy.
As if I drank like 5 or 6 or.
Dude, I don't know how people walk through life after that happening to them. Like that is, I always say like, you know what? I'd get over it, man. But like to have that happen to you, be like, oh my God, I was powerless to do anything about that, you know? Because something I pride myself on is like my ability to defend myself. If somebody spiked my drink and all of a sudden I couldn't do anything, and then you were just like, oh, I can't imagine, man. I can't imagine.
10 beers, you know, just completely intoxicated. And last thing I remember was just passing out. And then I wake up and it was 13 hours later. I was in the hospital bed. I was pretty confused. Nurse comes up and she says, hey, just wait 1 minute. So they were checking me out, they were getting me out there, and I just start remembering back, and I get bits and pieces of just, you know, like, just little moments of, you know, just while I'm sleeping, just getting touched or getting grabbed and stuff like that. And so it just started rushing back to me. And
now that's, this is the problem. We can't even talk about this stuff. Like, you know, we're talking about, you know, somebody getting a little too caught up in a fight. This is a little bit more understandable.
You know, just looking at
like,
the
I mean,
nurse
to
and saying,
start fights over.
Hey, I'll just say I think I got raped. And so, you know, she kind of laughed it off, said, no, you just had too much to drink last night, because I guess I'd been there for so many hours. So
yeah, I mean, like anytime a guy says so, people shake that off. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I get checked out. I go outside. I remember calling my mom. I just remember telling her that, just, hey, Ma, I think I'd gotten raped last night.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can never, and I'm saying, like, props to him. If he can have that conversation, you have that conversation. But the last phone call on this planet that I would ever make is probably, hey, Mom, somebody essayed me. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I wouldn't want my mom to know. Like, she would cry for me, and then I'd feel weak.
And I remember her initial response was that she laughed and said, no, there's no way that happened. I don't know if that's the exact word she said, but it was something along those lines. And I just remember just instantly blowing up, and I started yelling in the phone. You know, I was yelling out front of the hospital. As the day kept progressing, I just kept remembering more and more of what had happened. I talked to a couple mental health experts. I talked to a couple police officers.
Now, does that, if anybody can answer this in the comments, I'll probably end up asking ChatGPT after. I've only been blackout drunk probably twice in my life, and I have no recollection of anything. I don't know if, like, you know, people say they go through the day and they remember bits and pieces. Does that happen? I'll probably just end up looking it up after, but I'm not sure.
But ultimately they just sent me on my way and told me that they would just get somebody to investigate it. And I felt pretty alone after that. I felt pretty isolated. I just didn't feel adequate. I didn't feel as if I was a person. It's definitely, it's been a long 2 years, and I've lost a couple friends because of it. My best friend I haven't talked to in over 1.5 years. And I mean, truth be told, that's just because the guy that did that to me, he was gay, and I had trusted him in that aspect, and my best friend was gay, and so it kind of...
Yeah, and then he's going to be pointing that energy towards him. He's not going to be drinking any drinks around. I'm not saying that's okay. Like, I mean, those people are very, very, very rare, and honestly, it hurts... It hurts people that are also gay.
I carried over into...
Because, like, now this person's going to be uneasy near them.
That of, oh, I can trust you, you know, like my best friend, you know, I've been able to trust him. I've been able to, like, sleep in the same room as him, live in the same room as him. It's sad not having him, not having you in my life, buddy, but I feel like the walls that I have built up right now...
That's what I don't get, but maybe because I'm not in the situation, like... If your drink was spiked and then you're feeling blackout drunk, like, you can sleep in the same room as other people because you can wake up and then do something about it if somebody ever tries to touch you, but maybe you're just that broken. I don't know.
protected me for a little bit there, but I'm trying to work on breaking them down. And for a long time, I had hate and just a pure hatred in my heart. You know, I just have to get through that. It's just something that you have to get past and that you have to grow with. You know, it's not going to leave me.
It's a tough situation, man, because that's a horrible, horrible experience to go through. But do your friends deserve, like, I get it. I get it. But you can't, your friends don't deserve to have walls built with, like, built in front of them. But I get why people would do that.
Yeah.
That's tough. This is so awkward. And why are the other two sitting back there? Just, this whole thing's awkward.
My heart goes out to you, man. I think we live in a really odd space and time where when men bring this to the table, it's automatically dismissed. And
yeah, especially if it was a girl doing it to you.
I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. And I believe you. Just know you're not alone. The thing that's been the most difficult.
Yeah, to be honest with you, sorry about that. Late night, long day. I believe him too. He seemed like somebody that was a little bit broken.
To overcome is being able to accept love. What I've come to realize is no matter what happens, I'll never be what I was before that moment. We've been hurt and we feel alone and we feel isolated.
I don't think like you can relate any hurt to some sort of essay. I don't know if that's insulting to him or not, but I'll be like, dude, shut up.
You gotta see you're not. You know, and that to me has been the greatest sense of hope. You're brave as fuck for sharing that, man.
Yeah, like I said, man, I would take that to the grave. I wouldn't want anybody knowing that about me. But I mean, like, obviously you need to speak on it. Wait, what? He didn't even get into it. I would imagine that he reported this person. But then again, there's no proof, right? That's what he said in the hospital. Okay, there's no proof. Hey, like it was circling back, if you lived in Canada, you're guilty before innocent. So there you go.
Experience, but you're not alone.
My sophomore and my junior year, I was molested, raped, and sexually assaulted by 4 of my very close friends at separate times. It was a really like dehumanizing experience.
What am I supposed to say? I didn't think that this video was this was going to go this route. The video is titled, If Men Were 100% Honest. I didn't think it meant honest about the people who touched me. Like, I don't mean to make a joke of it. I know how that sounded. I don't mean to make a joke of it, but I just didn't think that this video was going to be about that. And it's so weird.
Experience for me. It was very isolating. I had just come out, so I didn't really have like a ton of friends. My girlfriend and my best friend, they really saved my life. And my best friend Christian, he really like redefined what it's like to be a man for me. He's like my brother. And my girlfriend, which is the first time that I ever felt like someone could really love me as a man. And that was really, really great for me. So they really saved me from those situations, but I always still think about the things that happened to me. So I just wanted to thank you all for sharing.
But when, I don't know, like I feel like more of a man type of thing to do is to push it down and just do what you're supposed to do and go about your life. I feel like that's the proper way to go about it.
I wouldn't have said that.
Because talking about it's just like living in the moment again. Dude, I would shove that thing so far down my throat that like I would never in a million years be talking about that.
So thank you.
Like, nope, not me.
Thank you, Zach.
Nobody took advantage of me.
Thanks.
It's so awkward. The other guy's just sitting down there. They're all hugging.
Sometimes I feel uncomfortable in a group of men.
I mean, depends what kind of men.
I guess when I was a toddler was when it started. My mother was married to
Dude,
my
I
father.
swear to God, if it's another touching story, I swear to God, I have all the respect in the world, okay? It's just not what I thought the video was going to be about.
Who was a problem drinker, and they fought a lot. That's one of my earliest memories, in fact. And I guess I wasn't until fairly recently I found out he hit her. I never really felt to be very masculine growing up. I was terrible in sports. I was afraid of balls, and I was bullied. In fact, it wasn't until I was 19 that I stood up to any bullies and actually got into a real fight with anybody.
And that solved it, didn't it? But hang on, are we at... I would never in a million years suggest that fighting back against a bully would solve the issue.
But I guess that's kind of been how it is for me. I still associate masculinity with toxic masculinity. I'm told that they're different. As I've gotten older, I've been drinking more and more.
Wouldn't this deter you from drinking? Wouldn't that, like, oh, I grew up with somebody who drank too much and then hit my mom. Wouldn't that deter you from drinking?
And when I'm in bars, most of the patrons are men, of course. While I've never witnessed a bar fight, I guess there's always the thought in the back of my mind, maybe this is going to be the one time when I go to this dive bar, I'm actually going to see fists fly or glasses fly across the room, and it does kind of make me a little bit nervous. The early associations I have with my father and his drinking kind of are what have lent itself to my...
Yeah, I have a huge problem with my father drinking and getting violent. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to bars and drink and perhaps put myself in a violent situation. That makes sense.
Feelings of just being uneasy in groups of men, still to this day. My traumatic experiences are not as serious as the others we've heard. It's true. And at the same time, I also think that it's kind of one of those things where being in this group and realizing we're willing to be vulnerable, willing to be supportive of each other, I think that's a side of men that we don't see. I don't think...
Yeah, that's you know what? There we go. We finally have a little bit of a good point. That didn't sound good, did it? Hey, we need to come together. We need to... I don't know. If I ever had a problem, I'd want to talk to my boys. That's it. I know they'd have my back.
We see it in the media. I don't think we see it in entertainment. Maybe in the home. Maybe in private. But I think that this is a rather unique experience for me, and it's kind of changed the way I look at it. It's true.
So I guess he's not he's not uncomfortable around men anymore. Let's go. Who's gonna get up for that one? My dad drank too. My dad beat me too.
Okay.
I was raised by women, and my stepdad was just this monster of abusive man, and for years I was.
Hey, you know what? This is okay to say. Any man who's abusive towards a woman deserves the same kind, deserves maximum punishment. I will say.
Actually, just terrified of guys, like, and I'm a big guy. Like, generally speaking, most people it's the opposite. What I would come to find in childhood is just constantly staying away from men in any capacity because the violence was just so overwhelming. I was terrified of any guy possible.
Like, this is, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm not in that situation. Honestly, it might be. I'm willing to be proved. I'm willing for anybody to comment down below and say, Kyle, you don't know what you're talking about. But I feel like it's such a one-off case. Like, oh, this one person in my life was violent, so I'm afraid of all men. It's the same problem where I have with people with dogs. Like, I have my dog right here with me. This beautiful little golden doodle. Hang on. She's harmless, right? I've had dogs that are really scary. She's harmless, but there's all these people that are like, oh, I had a bad experience with the dog. One bit me when I was young. And then so they just hate all dogs. They never want to go around a dog again. Like, oh, you can use a little bit of logical reasoning maybe. Like, I get it if you're like 6, but you can use a little bit of logic and think, oh, not all dogs are violent. Not nearly all of them are out there to just want to hurt me. It's the same kind of deal that I feel like these people have with, oh, so I was around alcohol one time and somebody got into a fight and it was quite scary. Yeah, but what about all of the other times anybody's had a beer ever? Yeah, I mean, alcohol's probably a bad one because more fights happen with alcohol, but you get my point.
And that turned into just a tremendous amount of violence from my own hands. What's really interesting is once upon a time, it was just pure terror of the idea of being seen in this space in any capacity. And now it gets to be freedom because what I've come to realize is just the same thing you mentioned, like, we're all having a communal experience. Like, our definitions of masculinity are all different. I don't know that one is right or wrong, but ultimately,
I would say there's a baseline definition of masculinity.
It's like, you've got to take inventory of your life. And when I started doing that, it got a lot easier to stand in spaces like this.
Right.
For me growing up, it was also very one-sided. The way that I saw men was always very violent, and the way that I saw women was the exact opposite. I always went to my mom and
Dude, people suck in general. There's violent people on both sides. There's nice people on both sides. Maybe it's just a bunch of broken people on Jubilee.
Sisters for a kind ear, and I went to my brother if I wanted to like wrestle him for fun. And that was always just like how it was. Like I never knew anything else. So when I came out, it was very hard for me to know like what way I was supposed to act, because what I thought man was super violent and big and burly. Like that was all I knew, and that's not me. I'm not violent at all. I've never been in a fight in my life. I'm just not like that. And
didn't he just say that somebody grabbed him by the neck? And I don't remember what it was. Okay.
And for me, it took really looking into myself and figuring out that masculinity is whatever I define it to be. I know that I'm a man, and I don't need to act like every other man in order to like be a man. But it's also like
this is the problem with these types of conversations, right? You can't possibly refute anything. I'm not saying that I would want to. You two, I'm very grateful to be on the platform. I'm very, very grateful. Hey, Trickster, what's going on?
Barrier. I feel very unwelcome in masculine spaces, so I'm still working on getting myself into a headspace where I know that I'm allowed to be here.
My past experiences with guys, like with just like my dad and like other men like that are older than me, like they were awful to me. And then like I grew up being raised by my mom, my grandma, my aunt, even my sister too. So like a lot of like the family members I grew up with were women. So they taught me about life. They taught me about how I should kind of like go about things. Like even like today, walking.
Like is anybody else like confused? I don't know, like depending on when you're watching this, is anybody else confused? Sometimes I feel uncomfortable in a group of men. Okay. Why would you feel that way if you were raised by women? Like I get maybe looking up to women for like advice or something like that if you were brought up by women, but this conversation is just derailed so much and everybody's just kind of trauma dumping.
In here and knowing that I'll be around a bunch of guys scared me, because I was like, oh my god, like I can't, how am I supposed to talk to them? Like how am I supposed to interact with them? Because
like a normal person, like you interact with anybody ever. Oh, men. Oh, women.
My friends are girls and are women, so I feel like conversations I would have with my girlfriends, I probably wouldn't be having with my guy friends much.
Dude, it's 1,000 times more difficult to communicate with women than it is men.
I think it's something that...
Dude, that's what I'm saying, Trickster. Like, this entire video, I thought it was gonna... Dude, I was like, this would make for such a solid reaction video, and now it's just, I'm reacting to people trauma dumping for 21 minutes.
I have to kind of constantly work on, because knowing that, like, just because, like, some men are not like what I expect them to be doesn't mean that like I should kind of like hold that perception of them still.
I was molested in the church, and my mom made me swear to
Sorry, Sonny baby. Sorry. I'm sorry, baby. I just woke her up. My mom made me swear never to tell anybody. Dude, I believe this story. Dude, I believe it. Yeah, that totally happened.
never tell anyone.
And you two, I'm not exaggerating. I'm very grateful to be on the platform. That's the first thing every mom would do. Hey, keep that to yourself.
We grew up in the Mormon church, which is like super weird because we also grew up in the hood and we were in poverty. And so like you look back at that and it's like this very strange experience. My mother and her drug addiction and my stepfather being absent kind of led us to wherever. And one night when I was at one of the church members' houses, I was molested.
I mean, like I'm sure that stuff happens. It's well known that stuff happens in church, right? But I mean, for a mom, oh no, my mouse just died, didn't it? Okay, my mouse is almost dead. For a mom to go, yeah, no, we're not saying anything. Come on.
And I thought that when that happened, it was normal because I didn't know. I mean, because I was a child. And you know, when you're in like, I don't know, 4th grade or something, you kind of do one of those very first.
I'm interested like why this guy's here because it kind of looks like he's dying inside.
Like good touch, bad touch classes. And I was like, oh shit, this wasn't actually good. And I went and I told my mother. I'll never forget what she said to me. She was like, you can't ever tell anyone that this happened. This didn't happen. Don't talk about this.
What kind of mom would say, like, if this is true, like, what a piece of crap. You gotta understand why it's a little difficult to believe, though.
I understand, like, the why behind it. The church was unbelievably, like, giving to my family. A lot of our food came from the pantry.
Boo-hoo! Don't touch my kid. What a piece of crap of a mom.
Our rent was often paid from the tithings. And I think that the fear that she had in that was if this got exposed, we would lose that lifeline. And I kept that secret.
Dude, what mom would prioritize, like, your lifeline over your child's well-being and being molested? If that's true, what a piece of crap.
For 27 years. And the thing that's really interesting about secrets, and the reason why I was willing to talk about this today, is because that secret ate me alive. I mean, it is probably, out of a lot of really fucked up things that have happened to me in my life, it was probably the worst thing. That's where I lost my experience of childhood. I mean, there's the cuts and the scars and the burns, like, and the physical and mental abuse that I went through, but this was different. I was in survival mode. I was just trying to do whatever it took to make it through day to day.
Yeah, that's a toughie. And of course, like, again, I can't really speak on somebody who's like this has happened to, because thankfully, I've never had any horrible person take advantage or touch me, right? But it's a weird thing to react to. Must have been a piece of crap mom who says, yeah, like, literally.
And that's how I started doing drugs when I was 12, and fighting all the time and hooking up with people and going down this path of self-destruction. A lot of people have asked me over the years how I feel about my mother telling me that and hiding that secret and keeping it until I'm 27 years old.
You better not speak to that woman
anymore. The thing that I
anymore.
always come back to is that's just the human experience. I'm
going to hear him out for a second.
Know what to say other than that. And
that's just the human experience. Getting touched? That's just the human experience. Your mom making you shut up? Yeah, that's just the human experience. Dude, my mom would have tore down the entire church. My mom would have made the biggest deal about it. And any normal mom would do it too. But I know my mom would come after those people.
About who I've become, there has been a tremendous amount of healing that has had to take place in order for me to be here right now. I mean, the pain of that experience not only destroyed my life, but it put me in this place where I attempted to kill myself twice.
Yeah, like I don't blame him. I'd have trouble walking through life as well. Like, I can't imagine it. Like, especially like with the other story we were talking about, where somebody spikes your drink, and all of a sudden you're falling asleep. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, dude. That is insane. My mom would make them never see the light of day again, ever. I know. Any normal mom would. And I can guarantee you, dude, I'd be some, and I, of course, would never suggest such a thing, but I may find myself, and some people might say, you know, like, you would find yourself in prison as somebody who has a daughter now. Can't imagine. Dude, I wouldn't even think twice about it. It's crazy. That's your kid.
Statistically, you can go to websites called 1in6.org. 1 in 6 men have been sexually abused at some point in their life.
We are going to skip. Actually, that's tough, because you're probably allowed to, we're probably allowed to say, hey, maybe we should question that if it's a guy. Obviously, you can't do it if it's a girl, but yeah, I'm going to leave it be.
And it's the biggest, darkest secret that we keep. So every single time I talk about this, it's me taking my power back just a little bit more.
Yeah, you showed him. Like, come on. You got him. That was totally the right thing to do. Dude, why would this person not, why would you not tear down the church? Why would you not have that person in prison? Why would that mom not do anything?
Really stuck out to me because I remember after.
But the words the words. I took my power back today.
After the fact, it definitely made me feel less alone, but at the same time, it just kind of, I still felt isolated because, you know, it's something that, you know, as a man that you don't think that happens to you, you know, and probably as like a little boy too. It's just tough when you're in it, you know, you don't think anything of it, like the effect.
I would make sure that person's in jail forever, dude. That person, like, that's putting it lightly for how I feel about it, you know?
Effects it has on your body and your mind and the actions that you have, you know, it's just after you do something, you're realizing, oh shit, like I did that because of this trauma that I experienced, and it sucks to look back when you hurt people or when you push people away because of that.
For me, like, my experience, I was a kid, and it was from someone in my family, and obviously, like, we're super tight, so, like, I just never told anyone. It's just kind of like you're a kid, you don't know what to do, you don't know, like, who to go to, you know? So
do people just, like, not go to their parents? Maybe it's because I grew up in a healthy environment, but I could go to my mom and dad for anything.
And especially if it's, like, someone that has, like power, you just don't want to ruin, like, you don't want to break any, like, relationships. You think you're the only one going through it. Little do you know that there's a bunch.
You know what? I know that you touched me inappropriately. I don't feel like burning that bridge. I just don't get it.
Well, there men that's gone through it too, you know?
My heart goes out to you guys. I was younger, maybe third or fourth.
And truthfully, I know I'm messing around over here. But, like, truthfully, my heart does go out to these people, and I believe that anybody who takes advantage of, especially kids or anything like that, I can't even say on YouTube what I would like for to happen to them or the actions that I would take. It's just a lot of this doesn't make sense to me, but maybe it's because I'm not in their shoes. I don't know. I mean, for me, Trickster says, for me, I'm somewhat scared to talk to my parents about some stuff. But, dude, like, if you were SA'd, they probably just had super bad parents. Yeah, maybe there are a lot of people who shouldn't reproduce, man. It's true. It's such an extreme thing. I don't understand how you couldn't. Or, like, not even to your parents, like the police, anybody.
Grade, we had a babysitter that was much older, and he would take me to the back room, and I was way too afraid to tell on him. He was threatening. At that age, he was the boogeyman. I mean, he was what was under my bed and hiding in my closet at night. I went through this process of rage where I wanted to murder this guy. Forgiveness is huge. It's the most important part, you guys.
That's another toughie, man. That's another toughie. I've talked about this before, but as a man of faith, we're supposed to forgive. How am I supposed to walk through life judging people when I'm an imperfect man myself? But come on! I can't say the word. They're child touchers. I am better than these people. Not these people on screen. Like, you know, the people doing bad things. I struggle so hard with my faith with that. I mean, if that happened, I would 100% tell my parents. Agreed, I would too. Who wouldn't? Obviously, these people wouldn't. But, like, I struggle with that so hard, man. You watching this video, me, we're all better than these people. How am I supposed to go through life believing that they're all equal and I'm not supposed to judge these people? How are we supposed to go through life like that?
You got to do it right, because the way I did it at first was I envisioned myself choking him out in my imagination and, like, holding him down and stabbing him until he died, and, like, feeling his life leave his body. And once I finally, like, felt that he was gone from this earth, I put him down in the river and watched him float away.
But this is the thing. That's not slow enough. But that's the wrong way to think about it, right? Why? I am a true man of faith. Truthfully, I really am. Okay, but there are so many things like that I have such a hard time believing. Like, yeah, let's forgive these people. No, I don't want them walking around and risking my daughter riding her bike one day, all of a sudden, you know, snatching her. It's crazy. I think this world's so much more messed up than when the Bible was written.
And I really thought that was my way of forgiving him. And all I was doing was just filling myself with violent thoughts and rage. And it was showing up in other places in my life with the alcoholism and the fist fighting that we talked about.
I will never forgive people who do things like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I won't either. And I'm not capable. I'm not capable of doing that. I hope that's good enough in God's eyes, man.
Understanding my journey in this life and taking that person and from the bottom of my heart, forgiving him. Not for him, I'll never tell him that. I don't even know who it is. And it was like a building being lifted off my shoulders. And I didn't talk about it for 20 years. And like he said, I mean, talking about it heals it. Without the forgiveness and without actually talking about it and coming together like we are.
I disagree about that, man. I always disagree about that, talking about it like everybody, you know, oh my God, I got touched. No, I think the way to do it is to conquer life, find new purpose instead of just sitting around, you know, therapy, stuff like that.
You know, I wouldn't be where I am today.
The older that I get and the more work that I do and the more I like look in the mirror, I'm like, that's not on me. Like, I'm not culpable for the worst thing that ever happened in my life. But what's so interesting and the truth about why I decided to share this is because I'm like, there's like fucking 10 of us here and 4 of us are right here right now. What does that tell you?
Right.
You know, it's not 1 in 6. Like, I don't care what that statistic says. I know way more men.
I don't think we're allowed to, like, are we allowed to say that's bad math? And I'm not good at math. I don't think we are. Now, you know what? Let's say 50% of the population.
Who would never stand up here right now. So I just want to say I'm proud of you guys. Like, this shit sucks, man, but it's like, this is how you free yourself.
For sure.
And this is how you free the guys behind you.
I don't know. I think the way freeing yourself is to not let these people occupy any space in your mind instead of just sitting around and letting it take control of your entire life. No, you move on and you do better.
Who are terrified.
Yeah, because eventually
look, they're
people
still
are
broken.
gonna follow in behind you.
Like, I really appreciate you for like sharing your story because like you said, you know, talking about really helps you control your life and helps you maintain and have almost like having power over that rather than like letting that sort of like nightmares fuel my life. So thank you guys for sharing your stories.
But I feel like that's what they're doing, isn't it? I don't know.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank all you guys for being brave.
Well, guys, I
I've
hang
never
on.
had an experience like this. I'll remember this, you know, for the rest of my life.
I mean, like, how many times did we hear today that, like, I wouldn't have said that if you didn't say that first, right?
Yeah, so they're just gonna bond at the end of it, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's just not my type of content. It's just not something that I personally like do. I don't want to call it a bad video. It was very well produced. It was very well made. But I thought that I thought the topic was gonna dive into whether or not men can be 100% honest because, like, in general, because you can't be honest as a man. I couldn't be honest in like what I would like to see done to, you know, people who touch kids. You know, you're not allowed to be honest in general, period. It's a well-produced video. It's not my type of content, so I would have to say that was not the most enjoyable for me. But yeah, Chicks Are Good video. I was thinking it was going to be a different topic. Agreed. I thought it was too, but I want to have an authentic reaction too. And typically Jubilee pumps out some great content, so I don't want to like watch a video and then go, you know what? Let's make a reaction to that. It's a tough one, man. But guys, I am going to get out of here for the day. I am going to run the dog. I'm going to get some sleep. If you enjoyed that video, thank you so much for your time. By the way, why don't you check out another reaction video that we did right here? I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, everybody.